Exodus chapter 16. I'm going to start at verse 1, and I'm going to read. You can read along with me silently. I'm going to read through verse 12, and as it states. The whole Israelite community set out from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had come out of Egypt. In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions." Verse 5. On the sixth day they are to prepare what they bring in, and that is to be twice as much as they gather on the other days. So Moses and Aaron said to the Israelites, "In the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we that you should grumble against us?" Moses also said, "You will know that it was the Lord when he gives you meat to eat in the evening and the bread you want in the morning, because he has heard your grumbling against you." Verse 9. Then Moses told Aaron, "Say to the entire Israelite community, 'Come before the Lord, for he has heard your grumbling.'" While Aaron was speaking to the whole Israelite community, they looked toward the desert, and there was a glory of the Lord appearing in the cloud. The Lord said to Moses, "I have heard your grumbling of the Israelites," or heard the grumbling of the Israelites. "Tell them," these are the words of God, "at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God." May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. Hallelujah. You may be seated. So today I'm going to start here in Exodus, and I'm going to teach on the subject, walking in God's perfect provision. Thank you. Now, depending on how the Spirit moves, I may end up preaching on the same subject. But the idea is to teach you about walking in God's perfect provision. And to do so, I want to talk about four things out of the Scriptures. So I'm going to review them quickly here, and then I'll get in more depth in a moment. First, when you have accepted Christ, God promises to provide for your needs. That's the first point today. When you've accepted Christ, God promises to provide for your needs. Amen. Number two, we remove ourselves from this provision by being ruled by our wants. That's the second point. We remove ourselves from God's promise when we rule by our wants. Number three, when we lose focus on God's provision, fear and worry overtake us. That's the third point I'm making today. And then finally, we defeat fear and worry by being obedient to God's will and by resting in his promises. So going back to chapter 16 here, what we see is that Moses and Aaron have led the Israelites out of an oppressive regime in Egypt. They were slaves. And Moses' work through the Lord, or the Lord's work through Moses, gave him the strength and the power to lead these Hebrews, the Israelites, out of Egypt. They've seen miraculous things performed. They knew they were headed into a place outside of Egypt, and they had heard it was a promised land. Now they are about a month and 15 days into their journey, and they find themselves in the midst of a desert. And it is at this place that God chooses to reaffirm his promises to them. He's going to tell them again, he's going to show them again that he has made a promise to provide for them. So in verse 12 it says, "I've heard the grumbling of the Israelites," God says. "Tell them at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you'll know. Then the Israelites will know that he is their God and he's going to provide for them. So this brings me to my first point in today's lesson, that God will provide for your needs. Here in verse 12, we see that God promises not only that the Israelites will get food, but that they'll be filled. Remember, to those of us who've accepted Christ, we are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. Through the blood of Christ, we've become part of this royal inheritance, of this royal lineage that came from Abraham through the Israelites, through Jesus Christ, and now is available to us. We've become God's chosen people. Therefore, this promise of provision that is made is a promise to us that we will be filled. But what does it mean to be full? What does it mean to be filled? To be full means that you've had enough. You're satisfied. You're content. You have everything you need. It doesn't say you're going to be stuffed. That you're going to have extra to the point that it hurts you. It doesn't say that you're going to be hungry, that you're going to have not enough. It says you'll be full. And in almost every translation, whether it be the New King James Version, the King James Version, the NIV, I think the New Living has a little bit different language, but in almost every translation they use the word full, content. Now at this point, the Israelites have a choice. They got a promise that they're going to be full. They could accept God's provision and be satisfied that each day they're going to have enough. They're going to have everything they need for that day. Or they can begin to worry about what's going to happen the next day or the day after that, even though God has promised them that they're going to have everything they need. The Israelites couldn't rest in that and be assured and be comfortable, but instead they start worrying. Oh, Lord, this man is fine for now, but I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Can I get a side of greens with the man? This ain't quite you. Candy yams with the man or something? This man is kind of dry. Can I get a Diet Coke or something more? Remember, I'm talking about us. That's right. That's how we do. And I'm not just talking about food either. God has given us everything we need, mentally, emotionally, materially, spiritually, to take care of his will for our lives today. Right now, here on earth. Now we can be content and accept that today, in this hour, right now, as you sit in these chairs, that you have everything you need to accomplish God's mission for your life. Think about it. As you sit here, you're okay. In this moment right now, God has given you everything you need and brought you to a place where you need to be. Now you can rest in that and trust and have faith in the future, or you can begin to worry and think about tomorrow. Or when I get home, I don't know what we're going to eat. Oh, Lord, that light bill's going to be due next week. What I'm going to do? Oh, Lord, these children go back to school in August. I hope they don't cut food. But you have everything you need right now. You got everything you need right now. Just stay grounded in the present, and you will find that God has given you everything. And if you look back on the future, I'm willing to bet that you will find that he gave you everything you needed in the past to get to this place. Hallelujah. He brought you out of your Egypt. He hardened Pharaoh's heart. He parted your Red Sea of trials and tribulations and brought you to this place.